Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Happy Life with Maria podcast. Today's episode is inspired by a few conversations I was having with some people in my life that I thought would be very inspiring. So, how many of us find ourselves, unfortunately, sometimes stuck in situations we do not feel comfortable in? We're staying too long in a relationship. We're staying too long at a work situation. We're staying too long in a home situation with the parents. And we know deep down inside that it's making us unhappy, that we're very, very uncomfortable, but we stay. And of course, there's many reasons, obviously, that go into these kind of decisions. But the one thing I see across all the variety of different clients that I have helped so far, that I've had conversations with, majority of the time, people stay. Well, one of the reasons is because they don't know they have the right to experience something better. They literally don't know. For example, I had a client who was maybe under 30, still living with his family, because he grew up with a mentality that you have to stay and help the parents, you have to stay and help and do everything they ask you to do. Even though deep down inside, he knew he was miserable because he was living his parents' life. He wasn't living his own life, right? He wasn't making any choices for himself. He wasn't creating hobbies he wants, nothing. Most of his free time was spent helping all the family members that he was living with. Which, for a little bit is fine. As much as you can is fine, but not at the expense of you not even having time to build your own life, right? And when I would say a simple sentence to this person, as simple as, you know that you have the right to build your own life. You know that you have the right to create the life that feels right to you. You're young. You came to this planet to live your life, not your parents, not your family, not whoever else. Well, this specific case was like family members and things like that. Not your siblings, whatever. You have the right to make choices for yourself that feel right to you, to build a life for you. And that alone just sparked something in that person to want to feel, better every day, to want to feel happier every day. And knowing that they have a choice to say no to all these favors they keep doing for their families and parents and siblings and choose themselves first. It doesn't mean you never help, right? You help when you have time, let's say once a week or whatever, but not every single day. So that was a huge shift for that person. And then the other example I'm going to share with you was a couple. It's like a husband and wife. And the husband would never speak up. And unfortunately, we do see this a lot where the men don't feel like they have the right to speak up and they stay silent and quiet just to keep the peace, or they don't want to be bothered, or whatever it is. But in the cases that I have spoken to people, most of the time the men don't speak up because they don't know they have the right to live in a household where people are kinder to them. They speak kinder, even the spouse, the children. Sometimes these men stay and allow their spouse to be mean and critical and just like all the time for the smallest stuff, and the kids the same thing. And they literally don't know that they have the right to speak up and stand up and say back to the spouse or to the kids, I would prefer if you say the same thing in a better manner, right? In a normal manner, in a calmer manner. They literally don't know they have the right to speak up and, request a kinder treatment. I have seen so many couples where the guys literally don't know and they take it. And unfortunately, even some of my neighbors in the building, the guy that was so quiet for so long eventually got up and left the relationship. He just left because he didn't speak up for himself. He didn't advocate for himself for so many years, and then all accumulated. And then one day he was like, I'm done. Because all that negative treatment, criticism, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, all these negative things and nagging or whatever it is added up, and he has never spoken up or talked back, and then it just like was done. Now, I'm not saying, you're going to have a perfect relationship where nobody ever criticizes you or, nags you, but when it's constant every single day and it's for the smallest little thing that can be said in a positive way, in a constructive way, there's no need. Like, look at, what's his name? Lawrence, and there is a couple, they rarely fight because they say it's like a famous couple. What's her name? My gosh, I have to look it up. And they say, because what's the point when you can say the exact same thing in a normal manner? Why would you waste your energy screaming, yelling, putting someone down when you can say in a positive way your point, in a calm way, right? You can have disagreements, you can have discussions, but there is no need to put them down, to treat them like they're nothing, to dismiss their needs, none of that. So definitely a lot of the times, like I said, in the people that I have spoken to, they stay in these kind of unhealthy relationships because they don't know they have the right to speak up. So the point of this episode is, if you take anything away from it, let it be this. You always have the right to speak up and advocate for yourself if you're feeling extremely uncomfortable, if you're feeling someone's putting you down, if you're feeling someone's taking advantage of you, asking you for too many favors, and they're not giving you back anything of equal value, right? Always know you have the right to speak up and advocate for yourself. And it doesn't have to involve screaming, yelling, tantrums, putting someone down. No, you just calmly say, I prefer, if you speak to me in a more respectful way going forward. I prefer if we have discussions rather than screaming matches going forward, right? I prefer if we do A, B, and C. So I would definitely, highly encourage you to audit your life, look back and see where are you accepting a negative treatment, a disrespectful language, dismissive language. Where are you allowing that? And ask yourself, what if I have the right to advocate for myself in this situation? What if I have the right to speak up and say that this makes me uncomfortable and I prefer A, B, and C instead? Try it. So that's the point of today. Know your rights. Know you're worthy of living in a world surrounded by people who are loving, kind, respectful to you. That's always a deserving thing to ask for and to have. Okay, stay positive. Talk soon.